You guys can have that.
Oh, okay, so the council, okay.
Is that something you use the city without the authority, is that,
No, it's city. Payment in lieu of taxes and usually I can file it for contractual in nature. Any kind of entity that utilizes significant amount of potential city services, but is a tax exempt organization, you don't collect anything from them in that regard. So a lot of infrastructure kinds of support aren't received from that entity. Whether it's a nursing home, for example, or this type of facility, there is oftentimes an anticipation that things like emergency services, ambulance, fire, police, that kind of thing, are going to get used periodically and systematically. In order to help the rest of the citizens pick up part of that cost, the entity usually works out a contractual agreement with the city as a local taxing entity to reimburse for a portion of that. That's done by this type of an agreement over a period of time. And that's generally what it requires. Typically, I don't see the municipalities waiving it. I understand the need potentially to do so in certain circumstances if the revenue stream just isn't there. You can defer it as well, but that kicks the can down the road, and there's not any guarantee that the entity will have the money later on either, but just to give you that option as well. So it's kind of it is a decision for you to make. If you do it, you need to be clear that it isn't necessarily a waiver on a permanent basis, but that for future reference. And what in essence you're doing is shifting the burden. Those who are paying taxes pick up the tab for the support of that versus entities that are not taxing.
So Bart and I did have a discussion today, and he said that they do have the funds to pay it. They were just asked by the powers that be, which is higher than them, to seek ways to cut back. And so they're trying to follow through with the set of instructions, but again, we do have the funds to pay it.
Were you cut that amount, that specific amount, is that why we were cut this?
Run that by me again, Tanya?
Did the state cut you by that amount, saying, hey, reduced by that amount?
They haven't cut us anything, or cut anything, right? They have asked us to spend less and find places to do it, and they're just really.
What type of things is the Burton Housing Authority doing around here? What types of things are you doing?
It's the housing complex.
They provide
flexibility?
We're doing,
Yeah.
we're doing with the
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
They offer.
Yeah, it's income-based housing, basically.
And again, it's a follow through of being asked. It's not necessarily a requirement that we do this.
Well, question that comes to my mind is, if we were to reduce or cut as a one-time waiver, would the city be coming back and trying to continue this trend going forward? And how would we address that later?
Well, we just have to address it year after year. The reason it's coming up now is the end of June is our fiscal year end. So we got this in July, and it's for last year's, up to now.
That amount, how is that amount determined in the beginning? Is that an actual appraisal of the village and that's the taxes, or is that just a negotiated amount?
Is it the same every year?
No, I think there's a conflict,
There's a formula.
yeah, they do it somehow, but they're not a formula on that.
Okay, yeah. Or you don't have to be saying it, or you don't have to.
Okay,
They can discuss it. Thank you.
thank you, guys.
Brad, do you know how they come up with the amount? I mean, I feel like it's close to the same every year, but I feel like there's a formula that they.
It's not even so much a formula anymore, that's also subject to negotiation when it was originally done. It's based upon, to some limited degree, what the town's average usage of various types of services. And a little bit of it is non-scientific. Come up with an amount based upon what they think may be a fair compensation for this portion of what residents there use. And that varies obviously for who's out there. Medical needs might be, for example, so it's not an exact science, but it is to be a constant amount so they can budget for it.
Yeah, and this, it looks like, you know, they have like rent and their tenants and they add all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, collected $36,132 and then they're gonna pay us $3,600.
So it's not that bad.
10%.
$3,613.20.
That's
That's what they would pay us.
It says they approximately about $36,000, correct?
Yeah.
so the final payment is 36.
And again, it's not something that you have to do, they were just asked to entertain ideas of where they could cut their budget, and this came out from the budget.
It gets squeezed by other government agencies, obviously.
The council does not have to ask. That's it, and the Oregon Housing Authority has said that they have money to pay for it.
Another way to look at it, and presented by, other than myself, governed by members and others, is, well, people are sitting out here who are residents decide, I'm having a tough year. And I don't have money either, so I'd like to be away part of my property, because that goes for these things. Not trying to be partners here, but I don't think it was done on the basis of trying to apportion and spread those costs over all the users. And because we don't have the ability to go ahead and adjust a mill levy because it's not impacting that particular entity, this is the way that oftentimes in almost every city, and all the cities that I represent, that a lot of these entities that are tax exempt are not taxed on the same level as a regular citizen. Kind of well compensated for services that they receive and are offered just like anyone else.
Honestly, that would use are the services utilized for say qualifying or sanitary because of the tendency to be a minority, fixed income, and so on. I think that's our issue, we're putting off on others if we do that. Another problem. I wouldn't be in favor of waiving it, I might be in favor of negotiating a one-time reduction. I'd really rather see the state, the federal government step up and take care of their duties and obligations, honestly.
Yeah, it is a federal program. And one thing that I don't know that any of you guys are aware of, and I think this maybe happened on the tail end of me coming on to the council, but there was a time that the Oregon Housing Authority could not pay their pilot, and the city postponed that payment for about 18 months. So it is my opinion that since they have the money, we should have it paid, knowing that maybe someday the city might have to do a similar situation with postpone it. But they assured me that you have the money to pay it.
And also, I feel like we could go on record that the city understands the plight of the housing authority they asked, and we considered it, and their due diligence was done as far as the federal government is concerned. I feel like we do this, the federal government should come back with one,
So basically, I'm just gonna ask, do I have a motion to waive the pilot for housing? A motion, so we will go on. And, I'm gonna step back for a minute, Patty, will you step up? This is Patty Good. This is the librarian, she's my, only husband, acquainted. And, I don't know your terms or anything over there, but that needs to be clarified in the minutes, let us know if you got it. So anyway, thanks for coming in, and this is the council. And she is working right now. Okay. Molly, come on up. I'm so excited. 250 years. Woo-hoo. That's not how old you are. That's just how old America is.
So I just want to open up the topic of 4th of July for 2026. Mostly because it is America's 250th birthday, and so we need to get some things rolling earlier rather than later to lock in some vendors. Three things really. I can get closer to your. Sorry. Three things really. A couple ideas are considering doing a fixed Saturday for each July of every year instead of the committee picking a date to do it each year. We were thinking the first Saturday of every July, and then it would just be a set Saturday from here on out. That way it takes the guesswork out. All the citizens would know what Saturday will always be held on. We could lock in vendors much earlier, because we would know the date. Families can plan their get-togethers a lot earlier. So that is one thing for you guys to consider if that is something you would be interested in. The second thing to consider is, would you guys like to have something other than Burton 4th of July, the event to be called Burton 4th of July? One idea that the committee came up with is Burton Freedom Fest, and that way we had one themed verbiage, signage could be made, there could be, permanent signs stood up maybe on Highway 50, and then it could say the first Saturday of July, and then it would be more prominent and in people's face as you're driving by. So that would be something to think about and consider. Any feedback is welcome as you're throwing this at you.
I love that, Burton Freedom Fest.
Okay?
And I know that, the foundation has asked me before if a sign could go underneath the city of Burton sign for our event every year. So they are interested in creating a sign that would stay there, that they were thinking of flipping a number, but if it's the first Saturday of every month, or every July, we wouldn't have to flip a number.
Leslie, does the lake is set, is the lake, is that how they set it up at Paradise Isle, is the first whatever of July, or how do you guys figure yours out? Because what I want to avoid is competing with Paradise Isle.
It's the Saturday after. It's the Saturday after the 4th usually.
So potentially,
We would usually be on the same.
it could end up being certain years overlap.
All years,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we have all used so far, so yeah.
Except the July 1st.
So you said it would be the same?
Yeah.
Except that the 1 year where it's July 1st, that would be before the 4th. So maybe one.
Well, it'd be three, July 1st, 2nd, 3rd would be.
Yeah, so 3 years.
You're gonna get a lot of that. I like your idea, and it would make sense, I don't know. It's hard to compete with them out there, and
But what are we competing with? Since we don't really make a whole lot of money off the situation, it's more.
getting people here. I don't know.
we discuss this every year when we're trying to pick a date. We feel like the lake people are lake people, and the people that come to the park are people that come to the park. We don't see a whole lot of lake people coming to the park, even if they're not on the same day. And correct me if you think I'm wrong, but, even when they are on different days, we don't see an increase, I don't think, from the lake.
How many permanent residents are permanent, or at Paradise Isle, and those that aren't, many of them would not be permanent residents anyway, would they?
There's no permanent residents really supposed to be out there at all.
Okay.
But when we have, Fourth of July, I mean, it's a packed house out there. It's a pretty big deal. I don't know, I can't say how many of them would venture into Burton or not. I would, but I go out there because, well, Greg's been my place out there, it's right there on the water and easy, so. But yeah, I know my kids come into town and enjoy the day.
You could consider the second Saturday. I was talking to someone who shoots shows, and you can get a more bang for your buck on the weekend after. Because the show is cheaper and you get a little bit more product.
But how is that going to affect our attendance? Because now you have people that figure out this, like this year, you have 3 weeks. They go do that somewhere else because it's Fourth of July, that's undermining us, that's the, Fourth of July.
So just being bold and liking tradition and like having the fourth on the fourth, is it, I'm not on your planning committee, so how big of a hassle is it to just, if we have the fourth on the fourth and getting vendors and things like that?
Like, so if the 4th is on a Wednesday, have it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Is that a huge issue with getting my apartments and things like that?
Have we done that before? We usually move it to a weekend.
Yeah, I think sometimes it pertains to volunteers, because of how long it takes to set up and then clean up. And so if it's on a weekend, then typically, you know, the week coming up to it, you know, people have 2 to 3, days off, and then they sometimes have a day to recover on Sunday. So a lot of it has to do with the past with volunteers. We have had a Thursday one since I was here, and then most people took Friday off, that are volunteers, so.
Well, how many people come back to town to be with family?
Like out of town.
Right, that wouldn't, I know when we were able to walk to fish last year, the year before that, we were horseshoe tournament, and there was a group that came back just to be with family that weekend and do the horseshoe tournament. You would do that last year if you were on Tuesday or something.
I think you would not get out of towners if you did it during the week. I like the idea of, like last year, I kind of like the idea that you were able to spend the day, the 4th with your family, and then be uptown and do the festivities uptown. Best of both worlds.
The only thing I would not want to get into is if the 4th ended up celebration again on Saturday was 7th or 8th. I don't want to have to extend the fireworks thing that long as far as personal use. That would be my only thing there, because I know a lot of people don't like the fireworks. They like the fireworks show, but they don't like hearing till midnight on every weekend and 12 o'clock and people that are anyway, so, and now, we can work all that out, I think, to the first Saturday, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, even if you did it on
So in 2027, the first Saturday is going to be the 3rd.
yes.
Yeah, so it's Saturday the 4th in 2026, 2027 is Saturday the 3rd. I'm just trying to Because I think that if you think about the fireworks, if you don't want to send them out on the first Saturday, it's just about an option to not really make fireworks go very far.
Outside of the fire, we don't hire because you do it on the floor. If you get in, locked in, the camera, then you can still have it. It's not going to show, oh, we couldn't get any vendors to show up because.
I don't think fireworks cost any more if we get them on the fourth versus,
You know, when you start, sometimes there's a little bit more bang for your buck.
yes,
That's when I say cost. So,
okay, yes.
value, I say cost. But outside of the value discrepancy for the way you do, how many issues are locking in as far as like show, to set up the show, the guys on the show.
I haven't yet. Last year, they were short on shooters. And so, honestly, I didn't know what I was gonna get up until the last minute. And I thought it was a good show last year. I have a secondary vendor that I was gonna look at this year. And they actually have, what do they call it, pyro musical. They put music to the show, but it's gonna cost more. Or you get a shorter show with the music, you know, that you can have an app on your phone and actually listen to it as it goes off, which I think would be fantastic, but it's gonna cost more.
I might be able to go to the audience. People that use apps. Someone like that.
Let me introduce you to my father-in-law.
I will tell you that tomorrow.
Okay, did you say you had 3 points?
I do.
Okay, I'm only getting the third one.
I was just gonna throw out there real quick, just a quick Google search. If you do it the Saturday prior to the 4th, it is always within 3 days. Well, no, that's not true. No, you still have a week, but you're only, June 27th is your, so I mean, you're 3 days into June. So I guess I'm saying the 3 days in June or up to the 4th, so, I mean, you still have that week that it could swing, but would that make any more sense? Then you don't compete when you get the set date,
So are you saying the 4th Saturday of June?
the Saturday prior to the.
Starting prior to the 4th. So
I think the only thing, I think
There's
the
no
only
way
thing
to do
that,
that.
not 4th on the 4th is having 4th of June. But that's just me.
Well, obviously, this is an issue that you guys will ultimately resolve.
We don't even have to, we can continue to just pick the day. And just, if we had signage, we could change the number on the board. You know, if we wanted to call it a certain, if we picked Burton Freedom Fest and then change the number July 2nd, we could change the number on the board if there was a sign on Highway 50 or something.
So some of this discussion came around, in most small towns, their festival is the same Saturday every year. And then the other part that came around, like, this is 250th, and it falls on 4th of July. So if you were going to set it as the first Saturday of July, this would be a fabulous one to do, because it falls on the 4th, on a Saturday, and 250 years, so it could be deemed, you know, stamp of approval, Burton Freedom Fest, first Saturday, July every year. And so, like, it was just a discussion that if it was to go this way, this would be the one year to make the decision to do it.
If you were asking for a motion to do that, that's what
If you're gonna do signage, I would rather do it that way first Saturday than, I think it would look cheesy to go and you have a big night sign and then it's like an old school baseball field where you're changing the score, team when they hit a home run.
Well,
Now, so folks have that, so let's be nice.
Is one of the biggest events around, the Freeport Rodeo does it, and they change their signs every year.
You just repaint it. That's the way I
They do
do
it every year, it's different ones. It's just like the fair, they change their dates, so everybody finds out what the dates are a year before, and then meet their community, put in different notification at work, or, you know.
So first of all, I wonder, could we as a council give our blessing to call it Burn Freedom Fest?
100%.
100%.
Okay, I, we need to give a motion. We have a
We did look
blessing.
around the area, I don't think there's anything close that is called Freedom Fest.
I love it, I love it, Burn Freedom Fest. Okay, make that happen. Now,
Now, you know, Fourth is on a Saturday, so we could probably go ahead and just approve that one, right?
we go, yeah,
That would work for this board.
I
It's not
know,
gonna
it
work
takes care
for
of this year.
the following board, so we really don't have to vote on it right now, because it's the same thing that we're not gonna in 2026.
so that is a good idea. I mean, technically speaking, when it gets close to the event, does this look like something you want to continue year after year on the first Saturday? Then prior to the event, we can make a decision and.
Well, I don't even think we have to vote on it.
No, no.
We don't usually ask you
Yeah.
for permission on what day we should have it.
I've got been the first weekend at a time.
It's usually on a weekend. We just, whatever makes sense, that's what we choose, but we don't usually ask you,
Right.
is this okay with you?
Yeah.
But if we were gonna have big signage, I felt that it was the
This should be a
responsibility
blessing.
to have talk to you about it and open the discussion. But, so we'll,
So
we're gonna have it on the fourth this year,
Yeah,
so let it be known, it'll be on the fourth this year, we'll figure the other stuff out later.
and your blessing of Burton Freedom Fest,
Okay.
your blessing.
My third point is, because it is a bigger year and, I think we would like it to reflect it to be a bigger year. I just want to talk briefly about what to expect from the council for budget purposes. Last year, can we expect to get the same amount? Can we expect to get less, more? You guys, fronted the cost for the fireworks last year, and I don't have quotes yet.
What was the amount last year?
8,000.
8,000.
As far as I know, we put that in the 2026.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Okay,
That's-
We put the 8,000 in the 2026.
okay. So that is what I will get quotes for. So, is there anything else that you would like to see to make it bigger, better, change anything?
Just remember, the sooner the better for us, now that we know what the Republic Freedom Fest, and it's gonna be 4th of July, we can get them on that 250-year conference that how, Carol and I were to. So I'm gonna share this one.
Okay. If you have any ideas, let me know.
And I personally want to say thank you, because I know a lot of families wouldn't be able to go to the 4th of July festivities in different towns because of the cost. And you guys do an amazing job making sure that all these kids can enjoy, no matter what economic issues are going on. Yeah, and I really appreciate that. That's something that I value a lot.
Yes, we try to make it cheap and,
And I will tell you that I did the L9 survey, and I had 2 people tell me their favorite thing about their event is the 4th of July.
yay, too
And
much.
they're new in town, so, yes.
It's my family's personal favorite also.
Good.
And I have a lot of family and friends that come to the house to celebrate it because they can afford it. You know, if you want to do buttons, great, you know, all to you. But other than that, your kids can go and do that and have fun.
You can go do the free swim and get some change at the bottom of the pool and then go buy a button.
Thank you. Very good, that's good. Come on, sir. So we have another exciting situation, coming over, and we are just asking for a resolution tonight. I don't know, do you have a resolution number for us?
Yeah, it's 2025.
So, Justin, right?
Yeah,
I'm covering. Okay, so Justin has an opportunity to bring us new structural speakers, so tell us about
yeah, it's a Kansas State truck show. This will be the 3rd year for doing it. And, what I'd like to do is shut down Main Street, leave Adams open for the cross traffic. And it would be November 22nd, basically 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., closing it down for the truck show.
And I talked to the businesses, I talked to the fire department, everybody's fine with it. I talked to Chipotle, keeping hours open, putting barricades, it's gonna keep it safe for the crosswalks. There's absolutely no objection, the only reason, that we went to that extent asking our businesses is something new, and it's going to be some nice parts, and some of them will stay on the side of the road overnight, because they're gonna travel the next day, but they'll be on the side, they won't be. Yep, I just need a motion to approve resolution 2025-11. Second. Second by Tanya, all in favor, say aye. Thank you, sir. I look forward to it. I have the mic over there. Okay. Kevin, come on. You get to train us on the natural gas liaison training, we do this every year. It's required by the state, and then the council will sign for the training. And then the chief of police will sign, and then Molly will sign for round one, and then the two management will sign. And actually, Clark will sign too, or you're gonna do it at the fire department also. Okay. I'll let the action on you to do it after.
I don't know what you want. What do you want from me about this?
Oh, well, basically, you tell us they're calling it on for gas, leak, that's what we're going
Are we going for gas leak or gas emergency?
Oh, Brian talked about it.
I mean, the gas leak is just, you smell gas, it's nothing major. No gas emergency, explosion, a large amount of gas. Either one, both calls.
So basically, the only information that we have to know is call 911, have this notebook in the office, it's marked for emergency plan. It has all the information, it has to be signed off on it. That's basically the gist of it, guys. It's just that according to the state, the city leaders have to be trained and people that gas emergency happens, you know, 911.
Right, and get a gas emergency, there's a lot of. Sure.
And that happens after the 911 call.
That's what it's.
Okay, do you have the back, do you have the packet to pass around to the council to sign it?
I can help.
Okay. So we'll go over minutes that we did the natural gas training, and that Kevin, make sure that you're informed, and we'll make sure to go. Okay. Here you want, here or Kevin, who's discussing the bids on the trees? You got it.
I got 3 bids for the trees on High Street. And you guys should have.
Yeah, I sent it to everybody, so.
Third.
The third one was coming this afternoon with the other bills that I sent out, and it was like,
GFL.
Go ahead and read it, Kevin.
One from Arbor Care. They're doing $400 per tree for a total of $3,600. And clear up all the brush, pull it out, for $300 for a total of $700.
I mean, I thought I sent it in there. There's all.
Right, yeah.
This one I sent today. This one I sent with this one. So there was one for $5,350, one for $7,900, and one for $11,125. Find it?
Yeah. So the one for $5,350, they're cleaning, loading, all for that price.
Yeah, it is the most, reasonably priced today.
Yeah, they're only charging $350 all the thing. The only thing I don't know how much of that is that.
Are they on that park?
Yes.
Well, they're charging to the equipment to put it in.
Honestly, it costs maybe it costs them
So
$350 for us to do it.
we're talking about tree bids, so let's talk about the first supply.
Okay, so the city never trimmed the trees that were growing on Rice Street. And they're all dead. And we gave new Rice Street. And we could tell the owners that they have to remove the trees that are on their property. There's 9 trees, and I think 6 of them fall on one person's property.
Why wasn't this brought up then, included with that then? That's a cost, because that's a requirement by those landowners.
Let's see.
I feel like
The survey hadn't happened, so the trees weren't necessarily deciding where to plant trees. In fact, we were on a tree that the whole thing started with the trees, right? Partially, trees and things.
Oh, yeah, that's-
Trees and fence and garage. I mean, I think, and Brad would say the trees can't fall, onto people's property, and we vacated ownership of the, people that have a property. However, the city did neglect to maintain the road for all those years. So we decided to do this, we have not made commitments to any of the owners. We have not made a financial commitment, we have not made a financial fine. We simply got a bid to find out how much it would cost. And we did get permission that if the council did agree to the cost, that the trees could be taken down. On their property. They're all dead, and they last storm, some of the severe yard crashes did fall.
So what stops the next meeting, you know what I'm saying? Where these trees, they're in your easement, but I don't easement, they're your easement.
Well, the trees are actually in our road.
Yeah, the trees were planted right in the middle of the street, so way back in the day, whoever allowed them to plant their trees there.
I don't know if they're planted. No, I don't know if they're planted. Were they planted or they seed trees?
I don't know, but they're right in the middle of the street. What was it?
And then mostly elm trees, I'm assuming they were planted, but I could take it for
They're probably.
So there's GLT services, so remove all 9 of them for $5,300.
What are we gonna get, they're thinking of this year, that's my
Yes. That's removing all things.
Well, this is pretty much.
And mowing,
City
mowing out.
This is pretty much a mill.
That's a huge difference from the other two.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's-
I know, and he called them, I did Kevin call them to confirm, 9 trees, they said 2 days of labor, he
Yeah.
confirmed, that I was the correct estimate, yeah. So,
We confirmed.
And they're in,
Bond administration. That's why I was getting ready to look up to.
oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Because I'm not even looking at the screen, it's, we don't have that.
Maybe they're bonded and insured, I don't know. who that is.
They're gonna fell a bunch of trees, and it's now on private property.
Can you-
Meaning no liability for them, it's just the bond. And then their liability comes from damage that they put it for as a result of anything following forever. So considering any of these bids without knowing that we've got bonded and insured bidders, this wastes our time, your time. So we have.
so why don't we table this to the November 3rd and allow him the time to find out their bond is insured? And then we can vote on, whichever company, because my guess is that's what's making the huge difference in price. Because if you have one company offering for $5,000, the other one at 11, I would say that might be what difference between being bonded and insured.
And the price trees being removed on my property and all of them, that was a requirement. All of the companies were bonded and insured in some form by, some amount. But the bids were, they swayed wild.
But as liability,
Right.
we need to make sure that they are bonded and insured and they go in.
Okay, we will table this and I will have them call.
Yeah, which, I had, that's why I had to do the whole different. Like I said, the first one's $350, we can do that. But the other one's a little more. We could probably take care of that one.
Okay, since you're up here, would you like to do anything that you have for, city intern, your tech report, or do you have any reports?
All good, Tom?
Well, thank you, you did a good
All
job.
right, thank you guys.
Have a good sharing of the microphone. I got
It's a little.
So. Okay, Karen, what do you have?
I don't have any.
Come on. Item. Almost done.
Did everyone get a chance to look at the profit and loss and balance sheet that was sent out to budgets? So we are short in funds. So we will have to move some around before year end or right at year end. I don't want to do anything now because it's going to get worse. And I don't want to take something out of one fund and move it to another and then we're back and forth. So we are going to wait until December and then we'll have a conversation with the auditor just to make sure that we're all on the same page. No, I think we can make it work. I'm hoping. I think salaries, yeah, salaries are probably where we're gonna have to.
I've been taking all the salaries out of general, just because I didn't want to take it out of any of the utilities, but I think we're gonna have to reassign some of that to.
Retroactively, going forward from the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And then the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, like, are you asking if I can change it now?
No, I'm asking where, are you talking about where the point where you're gonna do it for November, December? Or you said, well, shoot, we're so short, we've got to know to make it up, we've got to go backwards in terms of where we transfer funds to apply against monies that were expended in those funds or the general fund in August and September.
We're just going to adjust, towards the end. We're not gonna do anything now.
So they're saying.
We're not gonna start.
I understand what you're saying, I'm asking, are you looking to retroactively make corrections? Yes?
They would have to, if they're gonna have to wait until you do it through December.
Yeah, no, well, yes.
I mean, moving forward, I guess I mean, I don't know what Jasmine thinks on it, but I can start doing salaries differently.
Even now.
I know, but that's the problem with doing that we don't know where we're at overall shortness, and I think that's what I'm trying to help the council understand when we adjust these, before we make the adjustments as we went, and you guys thought we were okay, so I want you to see the big number and understand why our revenue generating accounts still are not where they need to be. If that makes sense?
And it's,
No.
we have a budget for it to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the budget is for it, so we don't need to amend.
It's just that certain funds, you're only,
Allow.
completely utility fund is your general.
Right.
There's limitations on what we can transfer from those for which they can be transferred and when.
Right.
There's moments like these, why our other issue earlier is this, can we find something cheaper, so we can save some money, so we don't have to do these things.
We also have transfers budgeted that we're hoping not to do. I mean, that's our goal, but it's probably not gonna happen in every fund. Plus our employee benefits, we're trying to align with actual employee benefits. We only did insurance in the past. So I just, with this year being readjusted with the new auditor, I would like to wait for everyone to see where we're at.
And have you contacted them, or they expect you to?
She's sending some stuff over, yeah.
Then they ask where we're at and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I just want you guys to be aware of that report that you're looking at. And if you want to go over it, we can. I just want to make sure you're seeing the numbers.
And we haven't done any transfers out of revenue generating funds yet this year?
No.
Okay.
No.
And in the past, that's typically in the fall when that starts happening anyways, correct?
Usually December, we ask the council to approve it, and then we look at the budget and where we're at, and yeah. In years past, I think it's just been told us to do all of it, because that's what we budgeted for, but
Trying to, I know that there's one or two funds that are not, so that we just need to not transfer out to try to carry that cash balance over because it was not going to reflect our 2026 budget if we did not.
Correct.
So, I do believe that you and Ken have been staying very much on top of those numbers that Scott gave. So, yeah, very good. Thank you.
anybody have questions? Okay. Keep it little.
It's on.
Okay, great. Okay, real quick, just, I wanted to update the council, on our, body camera, car camera project that was approved a few months ago. All of that equipment's installed in the vehicles, and issued to the officers. It's all operational. Our tasers have been issued and we've trained with them. Scott was privy to a little bit of it anyway. That's right. So the equipment is exceeding our expectations. I won't bore you with all the details on it, but it is a heck of a program. We would certainly show you anything that you want to see on it, but it would take me all night to explain everything those things do. So they were definitely worth the money that we spent on them. So the main order of business tonight is two ordinances. Every year we do this for the standard traffic offense book as well as the uniform public code. So the standard traffic offense that book is what allows us to write tickets in the city limits instead of having to follow a state statute. The same thing with the what we call the UPO, or the uniform public offense. Allows us to write for most misdemeanor crimes and handle that through municipal courts that have to run for a state statute. So one of those things we do every year. So that's where we're at. It's that time of year again. So the first one that I have tonight, I'm seeking approval for ordinance 667, and that is approving the Kansas Uniform Public Offense Code that I described.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve Kansas 667 UPC 1? Scott made a motion, do I have a second? Very second, all in favor, say aye.
Okay, the next one would be seeking approval for ordinance 668, and that would cover the standard traffic offense code.
I need a motion to approve ordinance 668, approve the Kansas SCO. Motion made by Scott, second by Greg, all in favor? Motion carried. Okay, Tony, do you have a report, cemetery board?
Yes, we were looking at the company to map out the cemetery, but there's a gentleman that is local that would save us a lot of money, that is wanting to do it, so we're looking into those options. So very, very, very excited about that. Would love to keep it local anyways, but it's something that he really feels about too, so I think that's really great.
So there'll be an online accessibility actually to the cemetery. The Dead Sea Scrolls that the cemetery is currently on will be protected and not on fire.
This is a Dead Sea Scrolls.
Scrolls? scroll, spin, excellent.
And we also moved our meeting to the fourth Tuesday of every month.
Okay, cemetery board is the fourth Tuesday of every month. Stop.
I think pretty much all my business was actually on the agenda tonight. I do have a couple questions for Brad if we can afterwards. That's perfect.
Josh, you have anything? Great. Okay, so for mayor, I have, had a friend go out with me on Sunday, and we got 10 more, I got 10 more surveys, I found 6 vacant houses, which actually were not on the list, so that actually gives us 16 surveys, because the vacant house is $0, so that's 16 surveys. I'm going back out on Tuesday, we have a meeting with Scott on Friday to see what our numbers are. A reminder that we have the town hall with all of the people that are running for election for, Board of Education, City Council, and Mayor seats on Thursday, October 22nd, 6:30 to 8, here at City Hall. Saturday, October 25th, 9:30 to 11. And then I'd like to remind council that we have a work session, 6:30 to 8. Thursday evening, Tuesday evening, October 28th, 6:30 to 8. Pool, annual emergency plan, and confirming the tracking release and the animal ordinance all match up will be on the October 28th session.
Okay, I apologize, you said October 28th for the work session at 6:30, and what was the other 2 dates?
Thursday the 22nd, 6:30 to 8 is one of the town halls for elections. And Saturday the 25th, 9:30 to 11 is the other one.
That one here too.
Yes, they're both there.
Thursday's the 20th.
Do I have the 23rd? I'm sorry, no, thank you, Josh. 23rd, Thursday the 23rd, Saturday the 25th, Tuesday the 28th. Well, like I said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Any motion, a second? Wait a second, all in favor, say aye. You guys on?